Peter Pierce and Rob Spencer go at it in match number 2 here on Duckpin Magic. Peter will be bowling first. I wouldn't say it was classic Peter Pierce in that first match, but we did see a number of spares, didn't we?
He made 7 out of 10, chopped on 2, and still shot 146. And in another way, you can say it's the classic Peter Pierce. He has a way of working things out, even on a bad day. He posts his scores on his way to a bad start this game as he ripped the middle and then knocked the 4 out of the 2, 4, 7. Has 5 pins remaining.
All right, our first chance to look at Rob Spencer now.
Okay, 8. Rob, Chester, Maryland. I've been informed it's down by the Chester River on the other side of Bay Bridge. Rob, kind of a fun-loving guy that enjoys bowling on the tour.
Yep.
You never know when he's taking it serious. I'm sure he is right at this moment. I guess Rob goes 6'3". Pretty big guys out there. Spare. Frame 1, Rob Spencer. Unusual shot, 2-9, and an 8 count and a 10-pin lead in the first frame for Rob. Nice shot.
Nice, very
real nice shot.
And he's put 2 marks back to back and jumped out on top of Peter Pierce.
Five, 6, 9, 10. Sweet. Pete never far off. 10 frame.
Yep, picks up the 10. Trailing by 10 plus after 2 frames.
Remaining, and Peter Pierce has had a very, very tough start.
Yeah,
going
sure
blank
has.
the first 3 frames, Mike.
Yep.
And there you see he hit that where he wanted to and still only get an 8 frame. 26. And Rob Spencer would do himself justice to take advantage of
Yep.
the
Peter
lull.
Pierce leaves the door open for you. You better step through and shut it behind you.
Nail it. Big ball here. He's early as it is. Nice
nine.
ball.
Yep.
Very nice ball.
Winner here will move up against Steve Ivarone, winner of several Pro Tour stops himself.
I tell you, you really don't want to make a mistake against Peter. Don't let him lull you to sleep with 3 bad frames, because when he wakes up, he's a little angry. He usually gets out of bed on the wrong side when he's behind, and 21 pins is not enough to live on after 3 frames with Peter. Got to bounce right back. Forget when you let it get by, don't start counting pins. Just bolt a frame at hand.
Well, he's got another 9. This time the 5 pin right in the center of the lane.
This will tell a story, Mike. He can bring the miss with him, or he can make this and forget it. This is a big ball. Took a little extra time. Okay, well done.
Right on the money.
I'm pretty sure this is Rob's first time on TV.
No, I think we've had him on once before.
Really?
Yep. A while back.
I was going to say you really don't want your debut to be against Peter Pierce, but
Yeah, I think he's been on once before.
I tell you, Pete's dropping the ball a little bit. I don't know if you hear it. It's very unusual for Pete. He's got that confused look.
Well, he really didn't bowl well.
No.
In fact, at some point yesterday in the middle of the qualifying round, I asked him how things were going as he picked that up nicely. And he said, well, if I don't get going, I'll be sitting on the outside looking in tomorrow. So
he really squeaked in, right?
No,
he had
he
1190 and the cut was 1183.
Yep.
So many people would be very happy to do that, but
Peter comes right back with a...
I tell you, the guy, if he's behind you, he just quietly stays right there. And if you make a mistake, and we saw Rob make a mistake, he missed a single, I tell you, you're just never going to be far enough ahead of the guy.
Well, he puts 2 spares on the board there. And here comes Robbie Spencer. Robbie works for the state of Maryland Department of Fiscal Services print shop.
Tough place for that. He was on a mark. His lead's been cut to 14 pins.
So he overthrew a little bit there.
Pete has a spare. I tell you what, watch Peter. We've seen him bowl a game in 5 frames. And if he gets locked in, the speed of the ball will just slowly increase. And it becomes more and more devastating. We've only had 1 strike so far in the 15 frames we've watched this week, and that was Mitch Lewinsky's strike. For Peter Pierce not to throw a strike in 15 frames is something you won't see too often.
Well, here's Rob Spencer now, trying to back on track, and that's
wheels coming off
help.
the cart here a little bit. Rob's just not as solid at the line as he was. I think his train of thought's been broken by the 1-5 chop that he had on his spare. Let's see, he's got to get a little more solid at the line like that. Nice try. That was a good ball.
Yep, very nice try, and unfortunately...
Situation where the bowler has been forced to bowl Peter Pierce. And when Rob was bowling the pins, he was doing fine. But Pete got his attention, and very normal thing.
Well, let's see what he does with it. He's got back-to-back marks, and we move into the 6th with Peter Pierce looking to add to his total of 10
I think he's going to rattle some pins here, Mike. A little more authority the last couple frames that he's thrown the ball with. Pete really exaggerates something that bowlers should look at. If you watch his first move, he straightens that left arm right out in front of him, and that's what gives him the nice pendulum swing that makes him the bowler that he is. Watch
He's
him
got
push
3 in a
away.
row now.
Here you'll see it. See how he pushes it out? That starts his pendulum.
How about that? There
Look
you go.
out. You can almost feel it.
It's like a freight train gaining speed. Once it's up to top speed, nobody dares jumps in front to try to stop it. And
The difference between him and a freight train, he quietly runs over you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. You sort of hear him and see him coming, but before you can do anything about it, he's gone.
All right, give it a push now. Stay with it.
Peter's taken a 9-pin lead, and it happened oh so quick. And of course, Peter's on a strike. Tell you, Mike, with the
the
format,
third ball coming up. Yep.
that we've adopted for the TV shows with the Pro Tour, it's very possible for someone to come from Peter's position, which was seated, what, 11th, and win the tour. I think, what's it take, 6 games from that position?
Yep.
We know it's possible. We watched
We just saw
little
somebody do
Al
it.
Bissonette walk off with a 5-foot trophy.
And one very similar to that is going to be given to the winner of the Men's Pro Tour. It's one of those trophies that never be able to just lose around the house, that's for sure.
You can spend every Saturday morning dusting it. I don't think too tough a job if it were yours. Boy, I tell you, when things go bad, there you see, you pick the 6 off the 10, a 2-pin spare break, and how quick the wind changed directions, Mike.
Yep.
92 in the 8th frame for Peter, or I mean for Rob. 93 plus in the 7th as Pete steps up to bowl frame number 8. There you see the score on the screen.
Take a look at Peter Pierce's form here. Pretty fortunate mix, but he'll take it.
The guy is, what can you say?
Well, that gives him a double. Looking for one more? Sure, why not? How about a triple?
Peter acts like it's just having fun, and when you're sitting there in Rob's seat, it's not fun.
No.
I mean,
especially when the other guy's getting a good mix like that and getting the breaks, and they're all going against you.
and you know what he's capable of. That, you know, it's you bowl Pete waiting for it to happen, and if you do wait for it, it's going to happen. And you know, Rob's going to be able to say to himself, I missed a single in the 3rd, I made a mark in the 4th, I ripped a 1-5, and it got away from me.
Yep.
I mean, it was just a drastic turn of events. Rob can strike out and shoot 152, and Peter's going to win. It's about as simple as that. Peter 133 plus a double in the 8th. And classic matchup coming up.
Sure is, yep. Talked about how many stars that Peter Pierce and Mitch Lewinsky had in their match. We'll end up with one more in this next match that features Peter and Steve Ivarone.
19 stars were in this particular week's, and Rob having not any stars, the other 3 bowlers having 19.
Well, Rob can go
Tough,
back to the
Rob.
drawing board
Tough.
and work on it again. He has nothing to be ashamed of. Had a fine tournament.
He sure did. He made 4 marks, 3 spares and a strike, and shoots 119. And this is what sets Peter aside from most of us. That he takes 3 or 4 spares and a strike and turns it into 130 somehow, some way. And if you watch it, it's very basic. He hits the object pin as many times as anybody on the tour, whether it be the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd ball. Slid by the 3 of those as he tried to make the shot. Just going to end up with 166, 119.
Nice game for Peter Pierce, 166. And he defeats Rob Spencer. He'll move on to face Steve Ivarone. Our 3rd and final match for today's show coming up right after this. Don't go away.